You've got it.
All right. Okay. All right. So minutes of last meeting,
Motion to accept.
we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Yes.
We have a second, any edits, deletions, additions to the meeting minutes?
Yeah.
No, okay. All right, so all in favor to accept the meeting minutes as is?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed, any abstentions?
Oh, abstain.
All right, no abstention, okay, so moved. Guest, hi,
Hello, how's it going?
good, how are you?
Yeah, good point. My name is Brandon McLean, but I'm just here to spectate, make things actually happen.
Oh, great, are you, do you live here in Columbia?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent, welcome.
Thanks.
All right, Brandon.
Pretty cool. Do we have another number? Here's one. Look, we have to have 7 for one.
That's why I asked.
I thought we had somebody online. Just, there was one person on the,
No, that's Christine Dola.
no, but I thought there was a. Oh, yeah.
Wait,
We have to have 7?
Wait a minute, let me double check.
Mark's not 7.
No, Mark doesn't, he doesn't.
Oh, I thought Mark.
Oh, I counted
No.
Mark counted you, sorry.
I don't count as a voter.
Yeah, so, well, actually, we have 11 plus the COA, but that's, yeah,
That's 12.
wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, no, wait, we have 11,
Plus Mary? Is she a voting member?
yes.
Yeah. Then we need, then there's 12.
No, I'm sorry, but right, no, that's the. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6. Oh, we have 11 including Mary,
Okay.
so 6, we have a quorum. Well, the max, no, max is 12.
Including Mary. Okay. Yeah.
So, okay.
So we do have quorums.
And we have another guest, who's joining us as a guest. Hi,
Hi, Christine Delbush, number 3, Sleepy Hollow.
okay, welcome Christine.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so, any communications?
It's all, I think we got something from Henry. Do you want to talk about that under? From Henry?
Well, that'll go under new business.
Yeah, he said he wasn't sure which I thought, so.
Yeah, we'll take that on the new business, so. Committee reports, Dan, I don't see, Dave Vanderbilt here. The latest, gatekeeper's log that I see is from June 30th. Was that the most recent?
Yeah.
Okay. So the gate is unchanged at a closed. Weather in the past 48 hours was about 1.25 inches of rain. Well, no, that was within 48 hours of the dam report of the gatekeeper's report. Yeah. So this is this information is about a week old, or a little more. Repolls number. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna back up. Who's taking notes?
I'll take notes, but I,
Mike.
Like, I'm okay.
Mike? Okay, cool.
whatever
Thank you,
whatever
Mike.
you don't have, I'll do.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
great. Moving on. So thank you, Mike, and as well. So a weep holes, number 1 at 10%, color is clear, and number 2 is at 15% and also clear, so looks okay there. No sign of seepage. Current ice status was no ice.
What was the water temp?
Water temp, 78
Nice in
degrees.
my coat. But it was a lot of things.
What's
A
that?
lot of cubes in my
A
clothes.
lot of cues.
From the Fourth of July.
Yeah, exactly, no comment on that.
78,
78.
where was that taken?
Is always, temperature,
Yeah.
temperature is always taken right at the dam, right where the water level is. Taken, so, it can
The
certainly,
gauge, no, the gauge, not the roof.
Yeah, okay.
yeah. And it can certainly vary, as well, so.
Well, I think it's good we have a constant.
What's that?
It's good we have a constant.
Yes,
So one spot rather than everybody would.
yep,
It's always taking the sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
check constant.
yep. Okay, water quality, I haven't had a chance to review them, but where are we at with ESS and water reports? Mark, did you?
Didn't Mary send that when she,
Came out today, I think, late in the day.
yeah, when she said she couldn't make the meeting, I think she sent something.
Oh, I didn't get it.
Did she? I
Yeah.
thought she-
Mark, did you have
She
anything?
did say she would send something, I didn't see it.
No,
I don't have anything.
Yeah, I think it came over.
I got the Eagles nest, but I don't have that.
She might have forgotten it or just didn't come over.
No,
No, it's here. It's right there.
Mine.
You're like monthly.
June water quality, but this is ESS first monthly with data, moving forward, they'll provide a narrative to interpret the data.
I think it'd be beneficial the next time we review this for the committee to get an explanation of what each one of these are, because there's really no paragraph before it that says, here's the trend, either it's negative or positive,
Right,
unless you know what you're reading into.
right.
Yeah, here's the report.
You have the report?
It's
It
a,
was attached to
it
Mary's.
was attached to Mary's email.
But I can't. I can read.
Well, I can, yeah, it's hard to read unless
I
you
think
have
we
like an
need,
iPad. But either way, I think an executive summary, which it sounds like they will do a
Yeah.
narrative for the next round, so. And what we could do is ask, we could just put in the meeting minutes to ask ESS to do a narrative of the first 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, first month could be benchmark and then move from there.
Well, right, but there's also trends going throughout the.
You have a starting date.
Right, no, but I meant, not necessarily month-to-month trends, but also year-to-year trends, so like, June of 22 compared to June of 21, or is there any comparative data that we could use? And, sort of go back to just, we'll have to keep an eye on and make sure that ESS is taking the samples from the same spot, you know what I mean? Because if there's,
Yeah.
if they're now
It's
taking the
skewed.
data
Skewed.
from a different spot,
Right.
then it may be some variance that may not necessarily be indicative of water quality, but just where they're taking the data.
so what did you want me to put in the minutes?
Oh, if you could just put in the minutes that we'll ask ESS. And if someone could reach out to Mary, and just, I think Mary's, or actually, Mark, could you ask ESS to write a summary for both this month and next month when they submit the report, please?
Yes, and we just got the contract signed at the end of June, so Mary and I have been working with ESS on getting everything set up, so
Okay, cool.
we're in the middle of it.
Yeah, and then will they be able to provide some comparative or some comparisons to any data they may have been able to get from last year?
Yes, so we're also going
June
to,
to June.
we're going to contract with them and as part of this contract to do a full analysis of the data they have to where we're going. So
Okay,
that's in the plan.
so then that would fall into that then. Okay.
Correct.
Hey, Mark,
Yes,
this is Bob Powell. Looking at their water column profile that they submitted, it's in, the temperature is in Celsius. Could you just have them do it in Fahrenheit since we all deal with that?
I agree. I have no idea what Celsius means. Good.
Yeah.
All right,
Only the scientists know what the hell that is. I hate
right,
it.
I agree.
Well, listen, I mean, as long as we're going there, can we just all go on the metric system and then you won't have to worry about this?
Well, that's like miles per hour and knots, the same thing.
Okay. All right, very good, okay. Fishing, any reports of any fishing?
We're fishing.
They're fishing, yes, I see them out there. Weaving in and out and around. Okay, access, safety and regulations, was there a report done for the Lake Patrol?
You know, I'm not sure. Just so everybody knows, I'm on vacation. I just married my daughter Saturday.
Oh, congratulations.
I'm still coming. It all went well. Everybody was
That's
super.
awesome.
So thanks.
Congratulations. That's great.
Great.
Right,
That's
right now I
great.
have my grandson because they're on a honeymoon. So I just handed him over to my wife. So we got our hands full right now.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So, hey, could you ask the head of, Marine Patrol, Mark?
For a report.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, and I'll get it out to the whole board, what the latest is.
Yeah, and then if he could
Okay.
just, next month, if he could include, when he sends it out, if he could send out the report for next month obviously prior to our meeting, and send both last month's and this month's.
Yes, I'll do that.
Please. Thank you. All right. Watershed management plan. Anything there?
No.
Yep.
Where do the sewer drains fall into that? Is that part of
Well,
this?
actually, it's gonna be the next, item is gonna be stormwater culverts. Yeah. Did I see a report come by on that? Stormwater culverts?
There was something Mary sent out, I believe.
Well, we have a whole analysis of the 6 worst culverts on the roads that we're working on with a game plan that I haven't even presented to the Board of Selectmen yet. So that's coming soon. But next, we're going to get a proposal from our engineers for the top culverts. And I've gotten a list from Mary on the top ones to look at around the lake that we need to be concerned with. So I'll be reaching out to engineers to get a proposal to review those.
So, I'm sorry, are there 2 lists? Or is there one list of?
Well, there's 2 lists. One is roads, culverts over roads,
Okay,
which are 6 main culverts that traverse our roads. But this is culverts that access the lake. So we have a separate list to look at inlets that come into the lake off of roads and private property.
okay,
So before we do anything, I'll get that list out to LMAC next month.
okay,
And this was a list that Mary put together that she thought was the top list. And then I'll get your opinion on if you agree with it.
okay, all right, that would be great. That would be great. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, because I know that there's one over in my neighborhood that's been an issue. I just want to make sure that it's at least been looked at.
And I'll give you a quick, I had some notes from talking to Mary, but I had Lake Road across from Farm. Hennequin Road inlet at the town beach. 47 Sleepy Hollow, Steve Harrington's inlet. 19 Upper Woodland Terrace, Mike Nazzo's inlet.
Yeah,
Walter Crosby, 33 Upper Woodland Terrace. Shirley King at 31. 25 Ann Cobb, and 25 Angela Spacido.
Esposito, yeah, okay.
So those were the top ones Mary had just fired off to me, ones we need to include. If anyone has a inlet that is silting and is a problem, just email me at townadministrator@columbiact.com or .org.
Next week, though.
Yes, not tonight. I'll be on grandson patrol in a minute.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
So I have a list of those storm drains that Mary sent out. I believe it was Mary who sent it out. There's a list of like 13 and some of those, there's like 3 or 4 in there. And I looked at each one of these and we've got some bad ones out there.
Yeah.
I mean, open to the point where a small child could fall through because there's no grade at all.
Mhm.
So I think definitely we gotta take a look at that and we need to do that quickly.
Do you have that list in like a spreadsheet form or?
No, just in what Mary sent me.
Did you take photos of them?
What you can do is leave it on the table and I'll get it tomorrow. I'm not in tomorrow, but Jen could get it if you could leave it on the table and I'll tell her to look for it.
Okay,
And I'll pinpoint the ones that I looked at and
Good.
thought they needed a lot of help.
okay, thank you.
Great.
These were covered, these were.
Well, there's Erdoney Road, there's a storm drain that's got a grate on it, but the side of it, where the water comes down, it's completely open. And I looked in there, there's water in there, and the hole is this big,
Mhm,
you
mhm.
know, so,
Well, it sounds
like that for 15 years.
Yeah, so it sounds,
There's a bunch, it's right in my road, it's right in my road comes out.
yeah.
okay,
That's how people break ankles.
yeah,
They slow
Well, it's
down.
dangerous because the car could, if the car pulls over far enough, it'll go right.
into that storm, yeah.
That's how they built it for years.
If you want to send me the photos, I'll put them in on a picture.
Okay.
Next one.
I'll do that.
And then any more you may have up to next meeting, just fire them over and I'll just add it to them.
Cool,
And if anybody else has any photos, just send them to me and
Yeah.
I'll try to pull it together.
okay,
That'll probably be our
I can
top
get one
5.
with Hennepin, because that's right, that comes right in by my code, and that's a mess.
Yeah, I'm talking more the safety issues first. We don't know if
I don't know, I can get you a little bit. I'll go look at it.
yeah. Okay, so, okay,
I actually did look at that one.
all right. So anything else on culverts? Good for now, so that'll just be, continue on. Anything on the dam emergency plan?
The dam emergency plan.
The dam emergency plan,
Where
Yes.
is, where's, yeah.
We're supposed to receive it, right?
So we did we updated the whole emergency plan. And did that get distributed to the board yet?
no,
No.
Okay, so you'll have that shortly because the Public Works Director, Beth Lunt, did update it. And she gave it to me and I gave it to Jen to update it and get it out to the board. So that's gonna happen shortly. It's all
Okay.
done. And we have it the latest and greatest to get to you.
There's a lot of changes.
No, it's mostly changes that are simple, like who's the new Public Works Director and who's phone numbers and things like that.
do you happen to have a version of it that's, track changes, so we just know where the changes were made?
Yeah, thanks.
Is that what you'd prefer?
If it's available, it's helpful, instead of reading,
Okay,
all
I'll
of
ask
that.
Jen if she could send you with the latest track changes.
Yeah, or you could even, if it's easier to just highlight it, highlight wherever the changes are. It just would be helpful, to have that, so we can kind of zero in on where the changes will be.
Okay. Got it.
Thank you. All right, so that's coming, we've got a lot of activity this month. Permit review.
Nothing new,
Okay, okay.
nothing new, and I did not get a chance to attend the meeting
That Thursday.
that Thursday for the permits.
Okay, you're
So-
all attending to the ice over.
Yeah, we were taking care of those, that was more important. So, no, we didn't go, so I'll get on their agenda within the next couple of weeks,
Okay,
because I was busy as well.
yeah,
So I need to add
Sure.
something to this. Now, I put in a permit
yeah,
for a jet ski lift
okay,
3 weeks ago. Haven't heard a thing about it. I mean,
Mark?
Well, that's interesting.
it was
Yeah.
supposed to go to
I haven't seen it.
This is why people are frustrated with the
Yeah,
permit.
I get it, what was the, where did you submit it?
I brought it to,
Jennifer.
So you handed it to her directly?
I've seen it, but not in Elmac. I think I seen it when you sent it in,
Yeah,
but it
so,
didn't come to us yet.
and I'm okay with it, but it's just, this is
Yeah.
why people are
She
frustrated.
used to, when I was head of that subcommittee, she used to email me the application. They, it was submitted. So I don't know what's happening.
Well, you know what it is? I
But
mean,
no, she was very good about that.
And I'm not trying to
I
pin
have,
pin
No, but-
anybody to the wall here, but what I'm saying is that this is a minor, I mean, a jet ski lift, it's like a mooring. You pick it up, you put it in the water.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not, you're not building anything, you're not,
Yeah,
so it should be a relatively quick process.
Yeah.
Somebody, LMAC should have been notified right away, hey, can anybody go out, take a look at this? In an email.
couldn't agree with you more, Yeah.
And it could have been days instead of now it's weeks.
yeah.
Well, and still has to go forward. It's like,
And so you handed it to Jen?
Yes.
Mark, is it possible to follow up on that, or?
Yeah, I'll follow up tomorrow.
Okay.
aren't you off tomorrow?
yeah, she's off.
He went for the county, remember that.
Yeah,
And
okay.
When was it handed in to Jen?
It was the middle of last month, 16th, maybe somewhere in that area.
Oh, my God. That doesn't sound,
Okay,
all right.
and are there any other
No,
permits? No? Okay. And
well,
so just,
there could be, but it might, it sounds like there's a lag. or something. We
yeah,
gotta fix it.
so, and you were gonna get on with the town to get into their system so
Get into
that
the-
you
Yeah,
can get,
to leverage that automated system. Mine's all manual.
yeah, okay, all right. So Mike, we'll follow up on that and we'll, obviously, you'll hear from hopefully Jen, if not Mark.
Yeah, we'll call you tomorrow, Mike.
Yeah, I remember when, I remember because you mentioned it the last time you were here. You mentioned the jet ski lift.
No, I didn't.
So somebody did, because it's not in my emails. How would I have known about
No,
You had mentioned-
he didn't submit it.
No.
The meeting was a month ago, and he submitted it 3 weeks.
it? So then I read it somewhere. I just don't know who's got it in their queue.
Okay,
Maybe
Normally would come.
okay. All right, well, we are trying to get that new system up.
Yeah.
So hopefully that, resolve that. Budget review, Mark, are we all set from a budgetary standpoint?
Yes, we're good.
Okay, all right. So old business, stormwater culverts, we obviously has had some updates coming to that. We'll, an ESS, or have our contract. That ESS, that should just flow into committee reports for water quality. So
Right.
that can come off the agenda under old business. And the flow chart of the permits, I think that kind of ties into what you were doing, Bob. Flow chart of the permit process. That'll tie into what happens with the town system of the permit.
The flow chart of the permit, I think Mary completed.
Right,
someone to review.
No,
And
this is the flow chart or the checklist you're talking about?
it says flow chart,
That's what Mary developed for the town. It's on the town's webpage now. So if you
yeah,
submit an application for whatever you're submitting,
Yeah.
it'll show you the process, how step by step by step. And I think she submitted that,
that's
and
released.
that's been.
I saw it on
Okay.
the town's webpage.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're good. Raft regulations. Any adjustments to the raft regulations?
No, that was the Harry had brought that up, Henry at the last meet.
Yeah,
Was it last meeting? Yeah. And he had a large email describing all the issues he had with some of the rafts that are out there.
okay.
Has there been reporting of any problems with rafts this year?
I think there's, well, yeah, I think there is, but,
Well, is boat patrol, would that be in their report?
We actually had a raft break loose and boat patrol did return it to the owner.
That was at my house.
Okay,
I tied it up.
I don't believe boat patrol will be looking at whether a raft is in the right location, the right size. Or that's not under their purview these days.
yeah,
The other thing that under that should be the temporary rafts that are out.
That's what I was wondering, is there a problem with the
That was
temporary
on-
rafts?
Yeah, they're supposed to be out for one day and then taken in. It's been one on the lake for about 2 weeks now.
Yeah, there's more than one.
So the problem we have is how do you enforce that? Who enforces it?
That's right, that's
Who's in
right.
charge of going around and telling the people that they're not supposed to do it?
Well, that's what I thought boat patrol did, but I.
No,
all right,
Boat Patrol doesn't do that now. When I was on Boat Patrol, I could do it because I was a member of this group.
Gotcha.
I could do an educational thing or something. The Boat Patrol is not capable of doing that.
You don't want a young kid, or a girl going out. Sometimes they're adult, well, mostly they're adult, but sometimes they're renters too, and they live out there. It's just, you don't want them to.
Well, they don't have any official status to do it. They don't have any official status to do it unless it's in a navigation problem.
yeah,
So it's outside.
But as far as an enforcement thing, it's weird.
So if it's not, that's what I was clarifying. So if it was in a navigation area, then they could say something.
Yes.
right,
Thank you. So not a
Well,
navigation.
it should say. So.
yeah. If they know, yeah. So we'll leave this open. I'd like to review this with more of a complete board and see what we could put into place, and maybe there's
Well, does anyone have any ideas?
Well, whoever's in charge of the docks, jet skis, seawalls, and rafts,
right.
brought to their attention, then they could go to a house and talk to people.
Yeah. But I think we should talk about it as a bigger group, about the process. And then, as far as making boat patrol aware of it, they don't have to confront the person. But if they see something that looks new or different, then they should
They bring it to our
identify
attention.
it and bring it to us. As well as educating the community about, that we're here as a resource to help support that as well.
Well, the one that's out there now, the temporary raft that's out there now has been a problem for the last 3 years. They do it every year. They're told not to do it. They
Yeah.
won't take it in. They beg forgiveness, and it's just,
Yeah.
until somebody tells them, they just leave it out there.
Yeah,
So Bob, are you saying that it's us that should be telling these people that they're
We
not?
should tell them.
No,
We
it's
tell the board.
it's really permit review should be good, should go through.
Yeah, rafts are part of permit review.
Okay, so that is us.
So it's us,
Yeah.
but, so in the past, when I was on the Lake Patrol, I would go, Marine Patrol, I would go and talk to people about it and explain that I was part of LMAC and these are the regulations and that we were supposed to do it. But really, it's the board of selectmen who have the power to tell them not to do it. We're only an advisory.
Right.
So we refer it to the board of selectmen, they should then go and tell people what's going on.
They have to enforce it.
And they won't, by the time it gets to the board of selectmen, it's like 6 weeks later and summer's over and this is what people, this is the game people play.
What I've seen on the lake is they have these big blow up rafts and you trampoline in the middle.
Right.
And they take ropes and they go from dock to dock. realistically, that lake water is everyone's right to use, so you're blocking that part of the area. You most likely would never go in there, but you're allowed to go min steerage in any part of the lake, provided the lake level is enough for your boat or your.
And you go this far from seawall.
You go this far from the seawall. And in this case, when the raft goes across a full house or two with big white anchor rope, that's probably.
But for a day, to do it for a day, so you're having a party, you wanna do it, that's fine. But the rules are, you're supposed to take it in every
Right,
night.
but I can see where people don't take them in.
There's
Yeah,
one that's in Adoni, right down by Adoni Brook. It's been there for 2 weeks, the airport. It's been there for at least 2 weeks. And that person's had something like that there every year for at least the last 3 years.
Okay.
Might need to be serviced.
Okay, so we'll leave this open for right now.
That's part of the permit review committee,
Yeah,
subcommittee,
yeah, right.
I'll put it on their list.
Geese.
Before we talk about geese, I'd like to officially bring into the meeting that I do have this jet ski request. I found it and it was sent to about 8 people on our committee, so including me.
Okay,
So officially, we'll enter that into tonight's minutes,
okay,
his application for the jet ski lift.
okay.
And you want to talk about it now and as I can log it in, I can log it into the official record.
Yep, so what's the title of the desire?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's the,
No, Jimmy was not. I mean,
Please approve it.
the other thing I think we need to go revisit is in fact the subcommittee because
Yeah.
Steve was kind of overseeing the permits and then
yep,
maybe we can just restructure that.
yep,
The reason we started the subcommittee is because this group only meets once a month.
Right.
The subcommittee can go out and be like a SWAT team, do it the next day, write the letter to the board of selectmen, and in about 2 weeks it will be approved. If it has to be reviewed by this committee, by this commission,
It'll take weeks.
it takes weeks.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that. So
You gotta go, you gotta go to the subcommittee.
All he's saying is that because there was only one person who was really in charge of that
which
subcommittee,
is Steve.
which we talked about a couple meetings ago, that we should have the 3 or 4 people that are on the subcommittee, any one of them can do it instead of the one, instead of Steve, because that's how it was done before.
Used to be 3.
Right, but still, one person pretty much ran it, and they always did the letter and always did the approval. We should reevaluate that, because sometimes, especially in Steve's situation, he had some misfortunes, and he was out for a
Yeah, he
couple
was-
times, and.
He was definitely out and then,
Yeah, but if somebody else done, he could delegate that to
right,
somebody
but I
else.
did, and I told Steve, and then I wasn't getting him directly, so I wasn't. being
All we're
directed.
saying is that maybe all 3 have the same authority, and, you know,
Yeah, and I think somebody's got to be in charge. Somebody has to be responsible.
well, you
One
are,
person.
the subcommittee is
No,
responsible.
no, there should be a chairman of the subcommittee. If
So-
they can't do it, they
so-
delegate the other.
So you're saying someone like Steve? Steve
No,
was.
not Steve. He
Well,
won't do
Steve-
it. He won't
Steve
be
was
chair.
the person.
He won't be chair.
he was.
He
Well,
was.
he was by.
So why
everybody else left.
why don't we bring that up next meeting, have a further dialogue on how we can structure that, because
Well, who-
I did volunteer
Yeah.
to be part of that, but I wasn't elected as the chairperson.
Okay,
So let's just revisit that. I can certainly consider that as well. But
Would
I certainly don't know as much as Steve does on the topic,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to seawalls. Docks,
Yeah.
I don't understand a little bit. I've done a seawall, but not that many. That's all.
so would you like to take the lead, would you?
Yeah, I can take the lead now in Steve's absence until we have a further discussion on how we should structure this, but I agree, we probably do need a lead and, an active subcommittee to chair, to assist as well. Because once fall comes, it's gonna get busy.
That's what Steve was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Applications.
Okay, and who else was on the subcommittee?
I don't know who else volunteered.
And move on.
Henry probably, I was gonna say.
I don't know. I volunteered next.
I think you did.
Why did they-
That's what I remember.
But I think we
Go
should
back.
coach it. I don't
But if one person can at least process it through, then other people can.
And if they can't, and if they can't do it, then they delegate. You know? That sounds great, but if people are on vacation, people get busy, and they forget to do something, that's what the thing.
Chairperson's got to make a commitment to do it. I was chairperson of that subcommittee. And when my life got too busy, I had to step down. I recognized I couldn't be chairman. Somebody's got to be in charge.
That, I hear what you're saying, but there's many things that are co-chairs of things. All I'm saying is that I think two people can work together very efficiently. Probably more efficiently than having one person that's dictating.
Yeah, okay, listen,
It's up
yeah, it's up to the, that's exactly it. It's up to the subcommittee, but right now, Bob, there's you, and is Steve still gonna be involved? That's a question we need to ask.
Yeah, I don't know.
We probably have a Steve, it's probably I have, this is not here. It's fall and winter.
Right, right.
So the
Oh,
application,
thank you.
let me just read it.
Yep.
Okay, so the application for Mike Scalise, address 14 Lakeview Park West, and it was submitted on 6/20/22, signed by Mike. It comes off of his new dock. It looks like it's non-attached. Sitting on the surface, it's 4 feet 8 inches by 5 foot 4 inches, and probably about 10 feet from the seawall.
How long is the document? Just so.
So it looks like,
Just roughly.
is your dock like a 4 by 20? Is your dock was new, right? Your dock was a new one. So it's-
Four
So you
by
showed,
20.
you showed in the middle of the dock. So
So
you're
that's-
probably
I see.
5
Yeah,
feet
okay,
off.
yeah.
See that back.
Yes.
Okay.
So from so what are the factors we're looking at here?
One that's against the dock.
No, but the safety, so navigation, and doesn't look like there's any issue with navigation,
Right.
right? And the other one would be, sideline, property sideline, and it's inboard of his property on the
Right.
sideline, so
Yeah.
from that standpoint, there's no issue. So this looks like a pretty
Yeah,
straightforward
it's in the middle, it's
application.
pretty much in the middle
And-
of the length of the dock.
Yeah, and away from the
More than
stairs
that.
as well. So there's room between the stairs to access the lake.
And he has no other lift.
So I have one left.
Okay, so subcommittee. what
One
would you like
less
to
per
do?
dock.
Yeah, so
Approved. Yeah, all right, so you'll
we'll
write,
submit that to
Yes.
the next level.
yep, so our apologies.
I only have one lift.
I only bring it up just to
Yep,
see if there's something that we can do to
well,
streamline the system.
well, there is, and Bob is actually working on that with the town, so that this will actually go into a formal permit tracking process and application, right? It's a online application, I think.
Yeah.
So, and then to your point, there'll be, whoever the committee is, will all get notified. And will be the impetus to take it to the next step,
That's
so,
a few months away, I'm sure.
so,
Well, what had happened, Mike, is that we were just trading emails, so I put together an Excel spreadsheet for all of last year's permits that we know of. I think there's like 18.
Yeah.
We got seawalls, we got docks, we got, dock attachments, all kinds of stuff. So that was, there was a manual tracking list, and this certainly will go on there as well as the next entry. But since it kind of come down, we really weren't reviewing that spreadsheet anymore in this meeting, so we'll keep an eye on that until this gets automated. We'll continue to use the manual spreadsheet, and then once it's updated, I usually would send it to the committee, just so everyone knew what.
cool. All right, so moving along. Geese, any reports, any?
Before we go,
Oh,
are we approving his application?
yeah, he just approved.
Well, we're not approving, we're recommending.
We're
to the Board of
recommending
Selectmen for
approval to the
approval.
POS.
So you need to write a letter to the board.
Yes.
And you're gonna do it?
Yep.
Coach.
And I would volunteer to be on that permit committee if you need.
Okay, great.
I'm sure.
You just made it. You just made the cut.
Thank you for joining.
Because it does get hard to, if you have
Yeah.
enough people, it just makes it so much easier.
you'll get 3 or 4 permits a week probably.
Yeah, and then now is the time we become, get involved because
End of August, it starts.
it's coming, yeah, yeah. But no, I'm saying now is also another good time, because then we can sort of get up to
Ease into
speed,
it,
ease into it, yeah. But jumping in and drinking from the fire hose. All right, so, do you want me to call Steve and talk to him about just if he wants to continue or not?
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that.
How many do you have on the committee now? 3?
Right now, I think there's Bob, Henry, I think Henry said he wanted to be a part of it.
I think, but he
Yeah.
says it for pretty much everything, so.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Well, it's-
so I'll call Henry and I'll call Steve and just confirm their.
Because I would be interested too.
Okay.
Seriously. If you
Yep.
can have, you need 4 on the committee. You know what I'm
Yeah, it can, more than one is really
Yeah, 'cause
the
I would be
safest.
saying? Because I'd like to learn about
Yep.
that, so.
Yep, so, all right,
It's really important when you're meeting prospective applicants or applicants.
right.
At a site meeting, that you have at least 2 people from the community.
I agree with that, yeah.
So it's not he said, she said,
Right,
oh, I thought you said this.
Right.
Yeah.
At least that's 2 people from the community.
that's why I said more than one.
Yeah, no, so if I can call
Plus, is there
So-
any training or anything that goes along with inspecting and stuff?
Just gotta read the regulations.
Yeah, it's really interpreting the regulations, and if there's any more in-depth interpretation, then it's really, I can't typically, how it goes is, because I was on that committee at one time, is I can't make that decision and I need to bring it to the committee. So
and we can
If
get a
it's-
copy of the regulations from,
The immediate
it's
answer
on-
is
it's
an
posted
approval.
on the town website.
I've read it before.
Yeah, yeah,
The important thing to remember though on this committee is that the committee is there to do permit applications, kind of like yours. They're slam dunks, right? You meet all the criteria, there's nothing really there. Whenever there's a concern of well, whether it be safety or if you're looking at a retaining wall,
Bring it to the board.
you say, I've got all the information, I got pictures, and I'm gonna bring this to the next meeting. You can attend if you'd like, whatever, you know what I mean? And just make them well aware you're not making a decision that day. Because that's, that should be your default, if there's any questions. And
The other part of it is, there's at least 3 meetings on site that are required.
Right, walls. You're talking about, yeah, the start,
Pre-construction,
middle,
halfway through, and
at
final
the end.
inspection. So
So
that's
you
really
know all
critical.
that, I went through that this
Right, you've been
Yeah.
through that, but that's critical, because one of the reasons I have to get off, and one of the reasons Steve probably doesn't have to get too involved, is because we're not here in the winter time. That's when you gotta do the inspections, yes, exactly.
well, and really what you brought as part of that committee was that typically there was just an inspection in the beginning. And then Bob had started to do, a midstream, review or inspection and then a final inspection, because what we were finding is there would be a permit and it would get reviewed, but it wouldn't get built that way.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so,
See that?
so then, there was a lot of, misinterpretation by the contractor, one in particular, that led to a lot of disputes after the fact, because what was installed did not meet what the permit was asking for, so, or what, more to the point, what was approved.
Or even in the middle, like they didn't put soil erosion up, that kind of thing. People some contractors don't do, whatever they do, real small, half-assed job because it's costing less money. So it's just,
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah. So, all right, so I will call Steve and also check in with him. Just to confirm he's on that. So. Okay,
I have to call him on something else.
oh,
Who,
who?
am I gonna call Steve?
Sure,
I'm gonna be talking about something else. If you want me, I'll bring it up.
that's fine.
Just see if he wants to continue.
Yep.
And if he wants to step down. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, if you're already gonna be talking to him, then.
Get some coupons first.
Bob's doing an aggressive takeover.
All right. All right, dare I say geese again, or? Or is there anything else? Is there anything or anyone else?
Who's geese?
Yeah, good geese. All right, any developments with the geese?
worse than ever.
What can we say?
Well,
If we can get rid of the goddamn things, that'd be great.
So, I'm gonna tell you something simple that I found. So I bought fake swans. We don't have swans on the lake, they're fake at my house. They don't work. Okay,
yeah, the decoys, I've tried decoys as well,
they don't work.
yeah,
But I will tell you what did work was very, very simple. You saw it, it was working. I just put string up,
yep,
just across.
Not working now, they come right over my string.
Well, they don't come across mine because I put 4 lines of it. And they're not coming across it.
Pushing it down.
And they were getting into my blueberry bushes, so I put up screen so they don't get into that, way back. And then I put up a little white teeny metal, the old fashioned metal ones that you put around your gardens, little. They're not
Yeah.
coming across it.
Yeah.
They're definitely not. And I'm telling you, I had a flock of 30 or 40 of them every morning,
yeah,
between 6 and 7. That's, and now they come by and they look and they go, oh, let's keep paddling.
yeah.
So that seems to be working for me at this point. Now, I'm telling you all that, if we all put rope up around the entire lake. they
Well,
would
for
be-
3 years, the strings worked at my house, and then just this week, it's not working. Yeah, so I don't know if they're getting bigger, more aggressive, hungrier, whatever it is, but I watched.
They're
them
probably
today,
getting
right
hungrier.
over the damn string.
Yeah,
So, a couple of things, so they've been hitting us pretty hard as well. If you're home and it's not bright daylight, I bought a high-powered laser from Amazon for about $35.
they don't like it, huh?
No.
It freaks them out. I've never seen anything like it.
You just do one of these things and not there.
And, it's got a 1,600 meter range. So, and it's this bright green beam.
Mhm.
And I can, actually, I think
I'll watch it. for
Mary had sent out, a link to, because I told her about it, I think she sent it out in one of the, CLA, emails, but I think there's a link to it, but I can send it to everybody as well. The other thing that I bought, so that's great if you're home and you can catch them. But what's happened, to your point, is that as it's been getting more and more difficult for them, they're now resorting to, getting there
And they're getting
earlier.
bigger.
Yeah, and they're
More
getting,
aggressive.
well, and they're getting, or, going early, so, one night over the weekend, I set an alarm at 3, 3:30, 4,
Oh my
4:30 to try to,
Catch up.
try to figure out, because we get there, we get up in the morning, my wife gets up pretty early. She'd get up at like 4:30 and there'd be 30 of them in the yard, So, and of course, she would just go out there with the laser and off they go and fairly agitated, but I did get one of these and I will send out.
What's that?
So what it is it's a laser and audible decoy, or not decoy, but a deterrent, goose deterrent. And it looks kind of like a little owl.
It does.
But these lights are flashing LEDs. And it has positions 1 through 5 where it has a motion sensor. And it has about a 35-foot range at about 120-degree span. So in my yard, I'm gonna need a couple of them, but we tried this.
The lasers that going everywhere.
Well, it does this.
Disco ball.
Well, no, it's not quite that, but it irritates them and it's working. It's working.
You're gonna be competing with Harrington's.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll send out a link to this as well.
How much was it?
$40.
It's not bad.
And it's and it's battery operated with a solar cell.
Thank goodness.
So
it's
you,
solar.
yeah, so you have to charge it first.
Yeah.
For like 2 or 3 hours just to get it charged. And then, so far it's been
Is
working.
that sanctioned from the Lake Association? You said it was?
I don't know.
Because.
I'm not asking permission, Bob.
Don't ask. Because there could be some concerns about invasive, so
Invasive.
not invasive, affecting the geese, affecting the the health.
Who's gonna psychologically evaluate?
No,
these?
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you're going to get those discussions, when you send out an email like that, you're going to get some response back.
Well,
From all the people that love these geese on the lake.
well,
So
no.
just keep in mind,
If they love them,
keep in
if
mind.
they
I'm just
love
gonna
them,
say-
then they can
I'm
attract
just
them, and they can
They
harbor
can pay
them.
more.
Yeah,
There you are.
Yeah.
The problem is, I mean, this is all going good, that's a great single solution, and I'm gonna try to do that as well.
Yeah.
But I think there's a bigger picture here, and it's the dam piece on the dam lake.
yeah.
And something has to be done. It shouldn't be up to us individuals to try to protect our little piece of property. There's a bigger issue here.
Well, there is a bigger issue, and it's my understanding, and we have to go back to the DEP, is that our problem does not cross the threshold of action
Right.
per their criteria, if I'm, that's my understanding.
So there's two types of geese, right? There's the migratory ones and the
Yeah,
resident geese.
Yeah.
Well, we have a resident geese, right?
I
Can
think
you
so.
hunt resident geese?
No.
no,
No.
well, there's no,
Migratories are protected federally.
yeah,
I think
I-
resident geese, I think you can hunt.
yeah.
You
I
actually can, but you have to be certain distance from houses, that.
Of course.
It's all.
And I think-
But it has to be
Like
affecting
anything.
farmland, has to be affecting the farms crops.
Yeah. But they, looking for
I don't think so.
I have no-
That's when you can hunt them.
but the, you know, the guy from the DEP came here.
Yeah.
And, you know, did a whole presentation on it about what their criteria was.
It was
And
like 400 geese.
4 to 5.
that's the number I remember, is that it has to be an
Yeah.
obscene amount. of
400 to
geese.
500 geese to change the phosphorus levels in the lake.
Correct.
And we have about 50 from what
Yeah.
I gather.
Well, we need to count a little bit better.
You saw 50, you saw 50, you saw
Yeah.
150, right?
I saw 30, so I had that one.
I don't seem to, I can't seem to find my notes at the moment, but, we were nowhere near the level.
So it does come back.
Oh, here it is,
Come
right,
back, it does come back to individuals.
yeah, it's, Min,
In Hung,
Hong,
Hung,
Yeah.
it's pronounced.
Right, Min Hung.
yeah, and he basically said, you know, what's a nuisance versus an ecological impact? You know, obviously, there's the pre-hatch mitigation, and then migration and nesting.
There was nothing wrong with the pre-hatch mitigation.
Right, no issue.
Nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that.
And then,
Can't find it.
That's the tough.
that's the tough part, is finding the nests. But, yeah, Mike, what I have is, as well, was it's about, it was like 400 was the threshold before, there was.
That just seems so random. 400 geese on a lake like Candlewood is nothing. 400 geese on this lake.
Well,
You
and,
can- you can
and,
walk over.
and maybe we could go
Makes
back
no
to,
sense.
maybe we could go back to mid and ask, is
Yeah.
there,
I think
is
there's
there a
mistake.
ratio
There's gotta be.
of area to number of?
Well, he did, he asked what our acreage was on the lake.
The geese are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
They establish certain feeding areas, certain breeding
And
areas.
breeding areas, he said, he did say that they would go back to the same ones. Right. You find a nest, they'll probably be there next year.
But they also feed, they'll feed in the same spots.
Yeah.
So I guess if individuals.
Unless you got a wire or disco balls.
So my
Yeah.
question is, and I don't know this about you,
Send it.
if we all discourage, if so many people discourage around so that they can't feed, what is the likelihood that they won't,
Go away.
what is the likelihood that they would just, I mean, really, not come back next year? Like, this isn't a great place to live on, let's go to Indoor.
Yeah, I
don't know.
It's a great question. I don't know the answer. I think,
If we all get,
to your question, Bob, is it has to do with whether they are migratory or resident. And I don't know.
I think this time of year, they're gonna visit.
I don't think so, too.
Yeah, so, yeah,
and then pretty soon they're not gonna be flying. What is, we have about a month, it's pretty darn soon they don't fly, because they all molt. So they'll stay on the lake for a couple weeks.
oh, okay.
But they were flying in, 'cause they fly in, I watch them fly in quite often.
Yeah.
And I watch them, but I recall that he said that there'll be a period of time that they won't fly, and that's usually when they did their roundups on the lakes, when they couldn't fly away.
Yeah.
I
So
did say you could petition the state and get a roundup done.
you have
So
to take
that's
a
why-
vote to the town.
No, I understand, but my point is that it's not that you can't, like you were saying, that we don't meet the threshold. We could do it with 50Ds if if the town agreed and we petitioned the state to do that, you know what I mean? That we could do a roundup of 10. I mean, it's just a matter of getting everybody to agree, and we all kind of figured we'd probably never get everybody to agree, but I don't think he ruled that out. He just said, look, that's your job to get everybody
That is correct.
to agree.
I remember. he said-
Everybody meeting with the town?
Yes, you have to take it to a
Basically,
vote.
the town would have to recommend that. And in order to recommend that, it would have to be, and I don't know if that's a
So you get,
51% or what it is. but
you get 500 people around the lake.
Yeah,
250 houses.
the other ones probably wouldn't care. so they
You know,
wouldn't
they-
do
they-
it.
they-
Okay.
So
The farmers don't.
I'm gonna just
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that,
yeah.
you know, obviously this should stay under old business.
Yeah,
And we need to keep it as part of our.
Could you send somebody a link to that return?
Yeah, I will. I'll send it out to the board.
Thanks.
There'll be a shortage of Amazon. All these shipping,
Yeah.
probably delivering
I already
You're
bought
not
mine.
at the house every day. Like this.
Yeah.
it'd be like fireworks.
Hello,
Really more-
so someone just joined us.
Yeah, that's Mike Dobush, who's Christine's brother, who has the
Okay.
application before you
Yeah.
next.
So that's next, your timing is impeccable. That's the next item on our agenda, so. What's in front of us here?
Where is it?
What's the land use, I guess, is says Dobush land use.
You have an application that's before wetlands. They just had a site walk on the 16th. And the last storm did a big washout of the riprap that Mike had installed, but Mike could certainly take it from here.
Yeah, sidewalk went well. But like Mark was saying, the last storm, last week when we had all that heavy rain, the stormwater went over the sides of the riprap that's there and washed out some more down the length of the first 100 feet of the right of way. I just want, be aware of that. The only other question I had, is down the road, what I'm pursuing with inland wetlands is, maybe to bring you guys up to speed, is doing a partial piping of like the last 35 feet, just so that we could be able to clean up that whole area. And my question is, does the lake management for the pipe, do they require it to be under the surface or above the surface? What is the preference?
Well, our purview starts at the edge of the lake. I think anything before that really is.
Inland wetlands.
Inland wetlands, so if you were putting a wall or something at the edge of the lake and then beyond it into the lake, that would be where we would, have a recommendation where we would consider that activity or construction. But it sounds like what you're asking is more oriented towards inland wetlands, because inland wetlands basically takes from the edge of the lake and goes inland.
Okay, well, this would be, well, what I'm saying is where the pipe would be going through an existing wall in the lake and dumping into the lake. So would that fall under you or still under wetlands, whether it should be above or below the lake level?
Has wetlands approved this concept?
This is gonna be under a separate application from what we've already done. I just wanted for the new application, what your preference is.
Wasn't this discussed a few months ago?
A few months ago, we discussed piping the whole thing down from the top to the bottom.
What did the wetlands say about that?
Wetlands does not want to do that, but they are acceptable to piping the last like 30 feet. So that way you could come down the right of way and not have to cross any type of ditch.
So just so, because I haven't seen a layout or anything of this, but is it a steep pitch you're talking about? Is it level land?
No, it's pitched.
So if you have a pipe, see the problem with it, if you use a pipe, I'm just making up numbers because I don't know this. If you have 100-foot distance and you're gonna pipe it 80 feet, and it's steep, and then you want to put, you want to put that into, a ditch, it's gonna.
No. I'm talking doing the opposite.
Okay, so you want to do riprap for the first.
Yes, the
I'm making
riprap
this
is
up,
going to be
80
the
feet.
first 130 feet.
Okay.
And only the last 30 feet would be piped.
So the question is, what's the effect of the water coming out of that pipe
Yes.
on the lake?
Because 30 feet of pipe, especially at a steep angle.
Well, at that point, the pipes
Okay.
probably a very little pitch.
So I think the key though is to understand what that pitch is, how long it is, and how much water is gonna come through it, because the last thing we want is on an angle. We want it to come out almost horizontally, and I wouldn't want it underwater because you're gonna erode the bottom, you're gonna get currents.
Right.
With high velocity of water. What you want is to basically disperse out into the lake at the highest elevation of the water possible.
Yeah,
But I just need to see it.
Yeah, right.
It's hard to mention.
I think
So you can't give a recommendation.
yeah, to Jim's point, I think, for us to, I mean, conceptually, I think we understand what you're saying, but I think in order for us to even make a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen, we would need to, even if it was just a sketch, it doesn't have to be an engineered plan, but if you had a sketch showing, how many feet of riprap, how many feet of the
How wide it is,
open culvert,
diameter.
and then what does it look like when it gets into the pipe? How big is the pipe? What's the pitch of the pipe?
Where does it come from?
Where does it come? What's that?
Where it comes through the sea.
Yeah, where it comes through the wall at the edge of the lake. And
Correct,
what,
okay.
And just
and
so.
the height off of the bed of the lake
Yes.
and relative to
Okay,
the water line of
Right.
the lake.
And keep in mind, because we can't answer your question right now, because we don't know any of that information.
Right.
But our concern is to minimize any of the water turbulence that's gonna be
Right.
coming from that pipe. Because
Right.
that will cause erosion and undermine the actual wall you're going through. You know what I mean?
Right.
So depending on how you design it, that's what we're gonna be looking at, is what kind of turbulence is gonna happen.
Well, and we need to,
We don't design,
Yeah,
that's why
we
we'll
don't
look at
design,
your
yeah.
design. you know?
but I think the other thing is we need to consider is what does it look like at high water and what's the activity at low water, in the lake. So we can just understand the effects to the lake bed in both of those scenarios, because they're both part of the,
Yeah.
the cycle of the lake and
right. In most other areas that I have pictures that most of the other pipes that come into the lake are actually sat on the bottom of the floor.
The floor of the lake.
Yes, on the lake bed.
Yeah.
Not raised up a foot or above the surface.
It depends on how steep
The
the
pitches,
pitch is coming into the lake.
right.
I have one in my seawall that's at the bottom of the seawall, but it runs for 150 feet, almost horizontally.
Okay,
So there's actually no flow coming through, very
okay,
very
well,
slow flow. Yours is gonna be more aggressive. The flow of yours is gonna be much more aggressive.
there's probably gonna be 3 feet and 30 feet.
So
for
water.
the pipe, but the water starts at the road, and the road has got to be much higher than 3 feet above the lake.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
so I think if you can provide us a sketch, maybe some photos, that would be a great
Okay.
help for us to help you accomplish your goals.
And using the pretense of, you're gonna, obviously you're designing, it, you're engineers, but they, the key is to minimize disturbance.
Right.
Minimize, any type of water disturbance as it enters the lake.
Well, right now, it's coming down full velocity, big ditch going down steps and washing out,
Right.
you know.
Let's see how good that, right, that's.
It's,
Avoid that.
That's not good for anybody, so.
Right,
We
so,
understand.
but okay, I'll come up with a sketch and like I said, I'm gonna be working with inland wetlands on a separate permit from the one that's gonna be discussed tomorrow. The one tomorrow is just strictly the temporary bridge I built over the ditch so that people can safely cross over the ditch.
Okay.
Because now the ditch comes down on the right side of the property and crosses to the left into the steps. So I built a temporary bridge over that, so that they can safely cross over that. That's the only thing that's the permit that's with inland wetlands right now. And I'll be filing a new one with these new changes, probably in September, to try to do over the winter.
Yeah, well, yeah, the sooner, the sooner we can look at it, the sooner, you can be ready for the water drawdown. Yeah, whatever.
Construction.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll try to get some drawings up for next month's meeting, and
okay.
Yeah, just great.
drop them off at the town hall.
Just to make you aware, you cannot start construction on that seawall until October 15th.
Right, I have no plans on doing it before then.
Yeah, because the drawdown happens and that's when, and there's a window that you have to do the construction. October 15th to March 15th.
Correct. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Now.
Thank you. All right, sorry, I'm moving around here, the battery is getting low. Okay, so does that help you for now?
Yeah, he's
Okay,
he's on mute.
okay. And then, John Burrell letter, is that? We'll just leave that, in old business for right now. And before we get to new business, did you have any questions for the board here?
Actually, I do regarding the water quality test. Is there anyone that's available to everyone, or is that email?
Matter of public record.
It's part of the public record. Hey, Mark,
Yep.
we have a question here. I'm sorry, your name again?
Brandon.
Brendan. Brandon or Brendan?
Brandon.
Brandon.
Yeah.
With an A.
Yep.
All right. Brandon, has a question here about, if he could, is there public access to the water quality reports?
I believe so. I know we get them from Eastern Highland Health District and they are on the website. So I'll find out if the actual residents can upload those water reports. So we only get concerned if we ever get a report that it's a problem and then we close the beach immediately. But I'll find out if there's a place for the resident to go look at all the historical water reports, which I'm sure there is.
Yeah. Are you talking about the water quality reports that are taken in the lake?
At the beach, yes.
Yeah, at the beach, yep. So Eastern Highlands, and Brandon, what's your last name?
McLean, MCC, LEAN.
Okay, and do you have, if you want to email Mark Walter? Directly, it's town admin, what's your email address?
So it's,
I have an email already.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
okay, good. So Brent, just send that email over to Jen and we'll get you how to find that information out.
Yeah, so that way, you know, you can get the information right from the source.
Gotcha.
All right,
Thanks.
cool. Anything else that we can help you with?
I didn't look at the document yet, but one of the things I wanted to ask about in particular for the water quality test is like the presence of contaminants beyond just heavy metals and whatnot. We're talking about like plastics, PFAS, things like that. Do you know if that's included on the reports or?
No.
I think
So
it's,
It's just E. coli.
All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
so are you, because there's a water quality report that's done, which,
Yes.
yeah, ESS does. Are you talking about the ESS report, Mark, or are you talking about? the
No, I'm talking about Eastern Highland Health District does reporting for E. coli, which would close the beach for contamination due to poop. I'm not talking about invasive species or anything like that that would go through ESS.
Well, Brandon was actually asking about, what was the heavy metals?
Or beyond heavy metals to plastics,
Plastics.
PFAS, other contaminants that aren't as like, only recently people are starting to realize the dangers of, especially
Yeah.
because they build up.
I'd
Yeah.
have to, I'm not sure about that. I know the main thing we've been concerned about is E. coli and what is the cyanobacteria?
Cyanobacteria
And phosphate.
Right.
and
Those-
and phosphates.
Right, those are the things we're focusing on. I don't know if we focused on looking into heavy metals or plastics.
Gotcha. All right, that's all I have. Thanks.
Cool, thank you. Appreciate the inquiry. So it's good to hear different perspective.
Anytime.
All right, cool. So, new business, Henry had a concern about water or wave activity close to shore. He sent out an email and I think that's really maybe should be forwarded on to Lake Patrol. And we can discuss it further here. But Mark, did you see the email from Henry?
Was that the one mainly on rafts?
No.
No,
You sent it today.
he sent it out today.
Not today, I have not looked.
Okay.
Let me just make sure you're on this. And you are not on this, so I'm gonna forward this email to you.
Okay.
And I think, you know, obviously this should, Mike, could you put this under new business for next month, please? And if you could maybe forward this to Lake Patrol, to Mark Lowell. And, you know, I think there's some concerns there, and we'd like to understand from him what actions he's taking from a Lake Patrol standpoint. Please,
Did you say go for new business or old business?
this will be new business.
Yeah, I read his note, but I wasn't quite sure if he was worried about just people driving too close to his house, or if he was trying to say wave action is worse when you're close.
I think it was all,
I think that was part of it.
yeah,
I mean, what
Yeah.
typically happens on Sunday is classic, there's so much boat traffic.
Of course.
And you get pyramid shaped waves.
Exactly.
Because they're bouncing off the seawall.
Seawalls.
Back in every direction, and it's ruined.
yeah,
And it happens 2 or 3 times a year.
And if it's windy, it
Exactly.
accumulates,
Yeah.
so it
Yeah.
adds to that.
Well, they keep bouncing back and forth. off the
And
walls.
what caused the worst offender is the seawalls,
Yeah,
because it sends it back.
exactly.
Yeah.
If it was all, you know, earth and rock and everything else, it would dissipate. And there would be no waves, or just every time a boat went by. But it's because of the seawalls, and he's trying to, he had said, you know, to stop damaging our seawalls. Well, that's the reason it's so worse. It hits them, it goes back, and just constantly, they fight against each other. They get bigger.
There's also, well, the picture he showed, one of the reasons we recommend dry stack lines.
Exactly,
So that the mortar doesn't get eroded by the wave action, which is what he was showing.
which is a work, right, drop
Well,
wet walls are the
yeah,
worst wall you could
I-
really do.
Yeah, and I think that's why we need to wait until he's back in the
Yeah,
meeting and because I mean, there's also, to your point,
Distance.
there's this, you know, if I look at that from a masonry standpoint, you know, that,
The worst thing you could do.
well, you know, there's another reason why that mortar is not staying, so, and it doesn't have anything to do with waves. But, yeah, so, but that's, we'll talk with Henry when he's here, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's not Sunday that, I don't, keeping people 200 feet away from shore is gonna help, because those waves are bouncing all over.
All over.
Exactly. They travel on and on, right?
And
You couldn't water ski in the middle of the lake, there's too many pyramid shapes.
Yeah,
But you know, this brings to light again, that board that we talked about, setting up at the beach area, you know, just for information. Because
Yeah.
I guarantee you, a lot of people that are close to shore, too close, or going too fast, too close, don't know the rules.
Yeah.
So.
well, and it doesn't even, you know, I mean, it's nice to get them at the boat launch, when they launch their boat at the beginning of the season, and then they forget, and then at the end of the season, but, you know, I mean, I think just,
The board, yeah, I think everybody agrees the board's a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna solve it,
but it certainly is gonna help.
but
It's gonna
I
help.
couldn't agree more.
It's the 90%. 90% of the people do the right thing, it's the other 10% that aren't gonna do it.
Oh, you're
No
on
matter
that,
what you do.
I call it 80-20.
Okay, 80, whatever it is.
20% of the people are 80% of the problem. All right, any other new business? Hey, Mark, this computer, this laptop is running out of battery. So, I don't know, it appears to be plugged in, but I don't know if you wanna have someone take a look at it tomorrow.
So you're saying there is a plug? Yeah, I'm wondering,
No,
It's
just
not-
fill out. That's all.
actually really plugged in.
All right.
When was out turning on?
Did you?
No,
Oh, I see. Okay.
I think we lost them.
We lost everybody.
They died in power. All right, folks. I think the meeting was over
Okay.
at 8:26. All right, good luck, Mike and Christine.
Thank
Good night.
you.
You're welcome. Good
Thank you,
night.
Mark.
Welcome. We'll be in
Bye-bye.
touch.
Yeah,
Okay, bye. This meeting ended at 8:26 without a vote. Good night.